Small Business Shoutouts are brought to you by Yankton Thrive, a service of 5-Star Communications. Business owners, if you're interested in being interviewed for our Small Business Shoutouts with Yankton Thrive, contact the folks at Yankton Thrive.
This is Maureen Buffington with Yankton Thrive, here for another Small Business Shoutout. I'm here with Anna and Cassie from River City Domestic Violence Center. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Let's get started by talking a little bit about what you guys do at River City Domestic Violence Center and the services you offer, where you're located.
Sure. So we offer quite a bit of services. We really kind of have two sides of the organization. We have the shelter and survivor services, which I'll let Anna talk about. And then we also have our family visitation center. So on that side, we do we support families who are in crisis who may have to have supervised visitation to see kiddos. And so they can do that at our location, where we can monitor and observe and make sure that everybody stays safe. We also do safe exchanges. So maybe they don't have to do the visit there, but there's just some conflict among the parents, and so we can just help facilitate a safe transfer of the child from one parent to the other. And then I'll let Anna talk about our shelter services.
Yeah, so as far as the shelter services, so of course we have our 24-hour crisis hotline. That number is 605-665-1448. But we also have emergency shelter for individuals fleeing domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking. Additionally, beyond those services, whether clients are staying within our shelter or not, we can assist with protection orders, and as far as going to court with that individual, prepping for court. We can also work on safety planning. So maybe you don't need emergency shelter, but you're planning on leaving, or maybe you're in a situation where it's just not safe, or maybe you've moved into your own place. And so we just want to make sure people feel safe. So we work on making those safety plans. Additionally, we help find housing, employment if that's necessary. Every individual that we work with is very different. So we offer a plethora of services, and it really is kind of tailored to that survivor. But those are just a few of the services that we can assist with.
What's the best way for people to contact you if they're in need of services?
Yeah, the best way would be through our 24/7 crisis hotline. And again, that number is 605-665-1448, and they can call anytime.
How did you guys get started in the Yankton area?
So the organization itself was started, I think the late 70s.
Yep.
So it started long ago, which really 60s, 70s was sort of the beginning of the movement of having women's shelters. Previous to that, we really didn't talk about this issue. Women, victims of domestic violence, especially women, didn't have an outlet to talk about. The way that shelters really got started was grassroots movements of women helping other women. So there was sort of an underground network of women who would provide safety to other victims in their homes. And then eventually that sort of got legitimized through the shelter system. And so we are really quite lucky as a community to have a shelter, not just an advocacy center, but a shelter for domestic violence and sexual assault survivors in our community. And we actually serve not just Yankton County, we serve a 7-county area. So the family visitation side was added later on, just again as a function of need in the community, recognizing where else survivors and families in crisis needed support. And so that was added on later on.
Mm-hmm. And obviously you guys provide a much needed resource in the community and support the community in a huge way in that area. What is the best way that the community can support you guys back in continuing to provide the services you provide?
Great question. There are really a lot of ways to help support our work, to serve survivors and victims. First and foremost, we get some of our funding from federal grants, but those grants continue to be cut year over year. We saw huge cuts this year. So really, I would love to see our agency really become a community invested organization. So investing, providing monetary donations, donating goods and services. So again, we have people on site 24/7. So food, comforts, toilet paper, paper goods, things like that are things that we go through a lot of and can always use help with. Also just serving with your time and talents. So we have various volunteer needs, and those change quite often. So just sort of reaching out and letting us know that you're interested in supporting our work through volunteering. We can find a place for you. Beyond that, I think anybody, whether you're a business owner, whether you're part of a community group, inviting us in to talk about this issue. A big part of our work is helping to spread awareness about what this problem really looks like in the community. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstanding about how it shows up, where it shows up, who is impacted, the cost of the problem that we all bear as a community. So just having us in to talk about the issue, to talk about really expanding your own awareness of domestic violence and sexual assault, so that we can continue to work towards prevention, because prevention really will only happen when we recognize it as a social issue that we all contribute to.
Mm-hmm. And if someone's interested in volunteering or donating their time or resources, or having someone in to chat with them about the subject, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you to initiate that?
Great question. We've got lots of ways to get in contact. Probably the easiest is to go to our website, yanktondomesticviolencecenter.com. And you can email us from there. The phone number is there. Don't need to call the crisis line for those inquiries. Yeah. We have a different office line that they can call for that. But email works great. The website has a few forms. Otherwise, Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and you can certainly reach out messaging through there as well.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like the community to know about what you do or how they can support what you have going on throughout the year?
I think the one last thing that I would mention is we're excited to break ground this week on an expansion of our facility. So we're going to be adding additional space, which will allow for non-congregate living, which essentially just means they don't share space. They'll have their own sort of efficiency apartment for their shelter stay, which means that we'll be better able to serve all victims, including male victims. So we are breaking ground on that this week. It's going to be a long project to build, but we will have additional opportunities to really support taking that expansion from 4 walls of a building to really making it as homey as our current structure is. And we still have a lot of need to fill the gap there. So if anybody is interested in how they can contribute and be a part of that building expansion, we've got lots of opportunities for that as well.
Great. Well, if you're looking for any of the contact information they mentioned previously, you can also find that on Yankton Thrive's website at yanktonsd.com. That's YANKTONSD.com. Thank you guys for stopping in and chatting with me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Small Business Shoutouts are on the air every Tuesday at 10:30 and Thursday 2:30. Small Business Shoutouts, along with Yankton Thrive and 5 Star Communications Classic Hits 106.3.